Hey Sarasota Parents, I'm Dr. Lee Horine, and along with my wife, Dr. Natalie Horine, we've been helping parents with kids with autism, ADHD, sensory processing, anxiety, motor delays, seizures, all sorts of different issues related to the nervous system for many years now. And we're wanting to put this workshop together to be able to help you, because your life as a parent is very, very challenged, to put it mildly, when you have a kid who is dealing with sensory processing autism. I mean, there's ranges obviously of severity levels, but even the most functional kids, you as a parent who has a child that falls under one of these labels, your life is very challenged. Every aspect of it, your entire family unit feels the pressure and feels the stress. So it's our mission and our calling to be able to serve in the best way possible, which means that we got to help your kids. We got to get them connected. We got to get them reconnected. And what we found is that most parents that we've worked with over the years have been doing so many things. They're extremely well educated. They've been doing OT, PT, speech therapy. They've cut gluten and dairy and soy out of the diet. They have tried all sorts of, like doTERRA and whatever essential oils. Like, you're really kind of open to, you're game for trying all sorts of stuff, whatever it takes, because your life is so challenged when you're dealing with seeing your child suffer every single day, and you feel like you don't have anything more that you can do, and your life is many times stacked with appointment after appointment in all these places, and you're getting very marginal return for the amount of effort and sacrifice that you're putting into that. And over the last 10 years, what we've found that has been missing has been the understanding of how the foundational system, which is the nervous system. We're going to get into this in the workshop. I'm just setting the stage here, because we're going to get into how the foundation, which is your nervous system and the autonomic nervous system, which really drives all function in the body, has to be connected in order for every other developmental process in growth to occur. And what happens is, when you start doing it's like if you're trying to build, like looking at the base of a pyramid and you want to build up a building, like if you start doing things to help with their speech and their motor development and like their ability to handle different sensations, like sensory processing, like how does that be integrated into the system? All of these different tools and tactics that are out there are not going to be able to take root in the way that they can. They're just going to make small differences, if any at all, in the way that your kids are actually behaving and showing up day in, day out in a measurable way at home, if you do not address the keystone, which is the nervous system first. That is the thing that is lacking. And when we started digging into this work well over a decade ago, probably back around 2010, 2011, and we started studying pediatric disorders very intensely, like from the neurological level, we started realizing that this is the gap that is missing. This is the piece of the puzzle that no one is getting. And I thought by now that everyone would have this figured out. Everyone would be on this, but somehow it has not been connected. And we are part of a group in the US and internationally that is helping to try to push this information forward so that parents and therapists and doctors, physicians alike, all can unify understanding that the issues that these kids are facing, these issues that your children are facing or your child is facing, that is causing so much pain and agony and misery and making you pull your hair out and just wishing that you could have a normal life, and wishing that your kid could have a normal life, is because there's these foundational layers that are missed. And they can be enhanced, they can be repaired, and we can see very big changes, not small changes. We're talking big changes when we actually start to address this, and everything else that you're doing will suddenly magically take root and start to connect when you get the nervous system coherent, when you get the nervous system connected, and we're gonna walk you through what that looks like. Our workshop is called The Perfect Storm because there is a perfect storm of developmental issues that occur all the way starting in pregnancy, and then they continue on. These are factors that we've seen through just looking at hundreds and hundreds of case histories of, okay, what happened at this point? What happened at this point? And we saw that there were commonalities in almost every single case where these kids had these significant behavioral disorders that were disrupting their ability to progress like normal. And when we understood that, then we peeled it back and we understood, one, for the future, what parents need to be aware of. But after that, sometimes that ship has sailed. Okay, so we understand that. How is that important? Well, when we understand how this came about, guess what we can do? We can work backwards to work forwards, right? So more of this is going back to restore the integrity of a nervous system that was not functioning appropriately, sometimes since in the womb. And imagine if things started at that early and now your kid is 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 13, 14 years old. Now we start to unwind this, and now you get a 13-year-old who's going to the bathroom on their own for the very first time, getting them out of diapers. You're getting kids who are 5 and 6 years old for the first time saying, I love you. These are the types of massive changes that happen not by working on the speech particularly or the motor development particularly, but actually at the core nervous system level. And when we isolate that and put that and understand it and we measure it, this is the key, when we measure it and when we study what your child is going through, because every kid, I'll tell you what, is different, like what their nervous system barrage is. I mean, there's categories obviously that they'll fall into, but when we can actually measure the different parts of the nervous system, we are able to really identify that and then also like listening to the story, what happened, like what was going on that might have been like leading up, and like what was going on in your life as parents, what was happening with them, or any trauma that was associated. Like all of these things are unique to your situation and your child. But when we can pair all that together and we look at their nervous system through advanced scans, then what we are able to do is we're able to very clearly understand what needs to happen to be able to pull your child out of this perfect storm and start moving them towards health and development and growth. And now they get to catch up. Now they get to reconnect with all those things that they lost before. And now, guess what? They get to learn them. Now, all the occupational therapy, the PT, all the speech therapy, the different things that you're doing has an ability to really make a difference in your life, because now you're putting everything together with a solid foundation. So this is the tip of the iceberg on what we're going to be getting into, but I want you guys to be, eyes wide open, fully prepared to understand what it is that we're going to be doing. Turn this into a date night, because you probably haven't had a date night in a very long time, and I want to make sure that we get you fed. We're going to get you some good food. You're going to have some drinks, and that's all going to be available so that you guys can call this a date night, leave the kids at home, and you can actually do something that now will possibly change your guys' lives forever by being armed with this information and understanding a path forward that just takes all of your experiences, and you're just going to have light bulb moment after light bulb moment after light bulb moment during this talk. So we're very excited for you to join us, and very excited for you to really bring your questions and for us to be able to help you as much as we possibly can, because at the end of the day, we're here for you. We want to make sure that your life becomes easier, and we can help your kiddos actually have a life where they can thrive again, and it's possible. See you guys at the workshop.